Hi everyone, I'm Karina, and today we are going to actually watch the video that is currently out called Play Along With Us, that has the instructors playing along with my conducting that I originally created just to my own singing. And basically we decided that it might be useful for everybody if I sort of do a rehearsal with this video. Okay, so the beginning is marked pianissimo molto sostenuto. So then you have to think about, first of all, what this would sound like if a group of string players were playing in a very large cathedral with a lot of resonance. You have to play so much softer than you think you need to. So basically, in general, I would say a lot of the time in orchestra, pianissimo can never be soft enough. It could be much more sort of far away. There's a word that we often use, lontano, if you've ever seen that written, so something that comes from very far away, shrouded in fog. Now the molto sostenuto marking, also I think that could be exaggerated. So everybody is, we talked about the idea of waiting before you go on and waiting for other people to feel the rest of the group. That's beautiful. However, it's important not to decay this with the sound at the end of every note. So we don't want every note to sort of have a big diminuendo and fade out, especially if the composer writes molto sostenuto. We really want to connect the sound so extremely glassy and smooth with the right arm, and very little vibrato, almost none, and just really keep your sound going, connect and connect and connect. And this long D pianissimo where we just arrived, this can be even softer than the first two bars of the piece. So now we keep going. Okay, next thing. So these pizzas are marked piano, molto pesante. What on earth does that mean? So how can it be piano, you might ask, and molto pesante? Molto pesante, very heavy with a lot of weight. There's a kind of gravitas about this. There's a kind of somberness, a kind of ancient feeling about these pizzicati. And even though they're piano, it's also, the molto pesante can also refer to the placement, the sort of their placement. So we don't want to come too early on the pizzas. And also, bum, 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 bum is like a question. Bum, 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 bum. I would slightly dim at the end of that phrase so that there's a sense of kind of suspension and suspense, and leaving the listener thinking, oh my goodness, what is going to happen? So rather than bum, 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 to bum, 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 bum. Even if it's not written, it somehow feels natural to me. Okay. Beautiful swells, really nice. Yeah, and even in my gesture there, I even, I physically backed up from the camera a little bit and got smaller in my gesture at the end of the phrase. That was just my sort of instinctual physical way of showing to just also in this second phrase, again, repeat that questioning phrasing on the pizzicati. Beautiful. this is the first forte in the piece, right? So this is the first time that we crescendo to a real forte, and we have this pizzicato that sort of cuts whatever has happened before it. I think that can be, without, of course, we don't want to Bartok pitz ourselves and break a string. We don't want to do too hard of a pitz, but we do want to allow that pitz to be, I would say, really close to the bridge, much closer to the bridge, so that you can get a nice kind of, a little bit of a jarring yet resonant pitz. And for those of us, I would make it much more extreme, much kind of more of a huge wave coming up to that forte. So we started pianissimo, and now we have this forte, and then the theme comes mezzo piano, right? So huge, I would say much bigger dynamic differences from everybody. Beautiful tremolo, really nice. Really beautiful. This is incredibly beautiful playing from everybody. And I love the fact that everyone is using a lot of air in the sound, and they're using bow speed to achieve those hairpins rather than any kind of pressure or forcing. So we don't want to force. We want to increase the bow speed at the top of the swells and slow the bow speed down when it needs to come back down from a swell. The one thing that I notice is that a little bit we are dying out at the end of every half of a phrase. So the sense of long line gets a little bit lost. I'll sing more as we go on, a little bit more what I have in mind, but I think it's important to, if there's a swell, then it's great to come down. Of course, come down on the decrescendo side of the swell. However, not to fade out completely to nothing. That's interesting. So ya da da dee da, and then everybody went faster than I did. Ya da dee ya, ya da da dee da, ya da dum is what I hear. And I think what I'm trying to show is to make sure the ya da da is really thoughtful. So ya da da dee da ya ba be. And then we're about to take, this is the first place where we take a really, truly a big breath. So allow, not a hole in the sound, but let the phrase finish before we go on to the next phrase. It's such a great moment. Yes, good. So going to the B natural, I would, I would make that a more sort of a special note, but really I felt it came too normally. We expect and what we get is what an uplifting moment, only then right afterwards now in the upcoming section to be then overshadowed again by the minor. So what's happening in the music, major, minor, major, minor. This piece is very sort of modal, and it's this interplay between the major and the minor. Beautiful sound they're making. Yeah. Good. Again, the ya da da. I feel that everybody wants to push ahead a little bit. Ya da da dee da 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 dee, which is definitely very singable and very beautiful, but I would love a little bit more of a sense of expansiveness. So ya-da-da-dee, fill out the sound in between the notes. Ya-da-da-dee, ya-da-dee. So it's really, really meaningful and expressive, like someone speaking or singing. Pull the sound. Yeah, that could be much more intense. That there with the F minor, where it's fortissimo, really yada chi chi. There you can definitely sink into the string finally, right? We don't want the airy sound. This is where we want to really have a lot of sense of weight, like your bow is just slicing through the instrument down into the depths of the earth, 500 meters below the ground. Think of the double basses, if there was an army of double basses. And immediately then comes back to the airy sound. That's beautifully soft, great. Good. So this is now obviously there's a little discrepancy amongst the different players. How are we gonna do these ya da da, these weighted notes? I think most people are doing. We all want to sort of coordinate the way we're playing those. So most people are doing kind of an extra sort of surge of vibrato on every single note, and definitely the entire bow. And I think it's obviously really tricky to coordinate it on the computer. But if everyone can try, whole bow and these kind of pendulum motions. So like big swinging arches on every eighth note, on every quaver, so that it's we don't want to stay stiff and horizontal. We want to yum dee dum a little bit, not too much though. We also want yum dee da da. We also want phrasing through the three notes. This one's piano. Beautiful, suspenseful sound. Gorgeous. That's beautiful, how she delayed a little bit. Beautiful. Yeah. We could use more viola solo. Yeah, it's a duet, right? So we need more from the viola solo and a little less from the violin. Again. Yeah, again, this is that we want a really gradual diminuendo, and what happens now is there's a little bit of kind of, again, of letting up too much, and then we have to play more in the next bar. So we want to be really, really gradual about it. This is really fascinating. So I'm pushing and pulling like I would with real live people in front of me. The problem is they're not live in front of me, and so the resistance that I would be used to kind of grabbing onto with the sound, if you think of the sound like you have a ball of sound, you have to sort of bring it forwards and backwards. There is no resistance because they're recording individually. So there was a little bit maybe too easily kind of falling forward and then pulling back. So it's a little bit too unstable. We do want this passage to be quite even despite the little swells. And it's interesting for me to see the way that I'm conducting, because it would work much better with a live orchestra than it does in this situation, because you would be amazed when you, sorry, alerts. You would be amazed when, for any of you who've tried conducting or would like, aspiring conductors would like to conduct, how much you have to get underneath people and push and pull them just to get the tiniest sort of response, especially the beginning when you first start conducting. So that's something that's really interesting to listen to in this section, sort of the flow and pulling back of these quavers. Smooth, gradual, like something going up into the sky. Espressivo. Okay, that didn't quite work. I think next group comes in yamba, and it's building, and we need to keep it going. Da dee da dee da ya ya, and then we have the sort of coda with the violin solo. So it could be the crescendo could be more gradual from everyone, with again a sense of long line building to the ya hum. Beautiful. Love all this bow. That's fabulous. Oh, guys, very, very beautiful. They did such a fabulous job. I mean, this is This very last yeah, that A has to be the most intense and the longest, most kind of pulled out crescendo that anyone's ever played. And then I would say the, I mean, anything you can do to get your open strings to just resonate and ring, you know, that the whole neighborhood should hear the, you know, that last chord and this kind of wave of sound, which then has a very, very long resonance period. So those are my comments. This video is very long, but this is sort of, I guess, I mean, this has only been about 21 minutes. And normally a piece like this with an orchestra, we would rehearse for, you know, 90 minutes, 3 days in a row before a concert. So there's a lot to do. There's a lot to rehearse. There's a lot of tiny details to talk about and decisions to be made. Not only, you know, coming from me as the conductor, but also especially in a string piece like this. If I did this with a professional orchestra, I would be super reliant on the concertmaster and the principal viola and the principal cello, and they would talk amongst themselves and also maybe try different bowings, try different fingerings, really experiment. And I've noticed in some of the other videos, like Elena's video for the advanced tutorial on this piece, you know, she talked a lot about that too. Try different things, experiment, play the video over and over again, and try different ways of playing to it and different ways of kind of conceptualizing the music, and have fun. This piece is so beautiful, and I hope that you all are enjoying this amazing, amazing masterclass virtual sessions. Thank you.